now let me talk about the mail. I remember I wanted to make sure I talked about that. So one of the things, I don't think it's on here, but checking mail. Well, actually, I think I said going to the post office. I would equally like, I mean, you can't see it, but there's zero mail on my desk. I used to have stacks of mail and I hated it. And so I must have done that later on because I don't think I had that system when I did this at first. That system probably came the second time I did this activity to hire the next employee. And it talked about the mail. And I was like, shoot, well, I can't just like hire somebody to come to my house and open my mail. And so the first attempt at changing the mail system for myself was I hired my wife. I said, honey, I will pay you, and name your price. I will pay you to open all the mail and just set it on my desk. So that way, at least it's all open and all I have to do is look at it. And if it's garbage, I throw it away. If I need to do something about it, I keep it and I have it on my stack. And that worked for a while. But even still, it would start adding up and adding up and adding up and adding up. And so now I just had a bunch of open mail on my desk and I hated it. Oh, and so I did some digging. I was like, how can I hire somebody? How can I find a way to get rid of the frustrating aspects of mail? And so what I did, started Googling, and I don't have any financial gain to share any of this with you, but postscanmail.com, I found a company, and there's actually a whole bunch of companies that do this very thing. And I forget why I chose this company, but there was some reason that I chose this company because it served what I wanted a little bit better. But yeah, you can just start Googling these these virtual mailing address companies that what they do is if the title company ever says, or anybody, if anybody ever says, what's your mailing address? I don't give them my house at my home. And so I give them this address that actually makes me look like I have a legit commercial presence, a commercial business space. And so I give them this address that's attached to this post-scan mail company, and they mail it to there. And on my phone, where's my phone? On my phone, I have an app that if somebody sends me a piece of mail, let's see if you can see this. I open the post-scan mail app. I go to the button that says opened mail and notice how good I'm doing. I have no open mail waiting for tasks to do things, bills or whatever. I have nothing in my inbox. Nothing in my inbox, if you will, of mail. So this company, if you send mail to me, to them, they will open the mail, they will scan it, and then it shows up in my inbox, kind of like an email. I've been able to turn paper mail into almost like email for myself. And so if I come over here, you'll notice that like I just got this bill yesterday. So here's a bill that I used to get in the mail. Can you see it? Probably not. You probably can't quite see it. Anyway, it's a bill. And this will never, paperwork-wise, I will never touch this with my fingers, this bill, because they send it to this post-scan mail company, they scan it, and then I get a notification in this app, you've got mail. And I open it, I click on the PDF, and then I've got buttons. I can say, oh, this is important. This is a check. Somebody mailed me a check. I can say, send that to me, please. And they will forward it to my, I take it back. That's the only mail that I do like receiving is checks. And I've been able to filter it out where typically that's the only mail I get. And so, or even like a license plate. Like I just, bought all these vehicles and I've had to get all these license plates. I even tell the DMV, don't mail stuff to my house. DMV. Yeah, it's on the, Diego, it's on the screen right now. This postscanmail.com. You don't have to use these guys. Again, I have no financial gain to share this with you, but and there's a dime a dozen. There are a lot of companies that will do stuff like this. I forget, this was so many years ago. I forget why I chose these guys over anybody else. I don't think it was price. Because I think they had a couple features that I liked. I forget what it was. But anyway, even a license plate gets mailed to this post scan mail company, and then I open my app and it says, "Hey, you have a license plate that somebody mailed you. The DMV mailed you," and I say, "Oh, send that to my house." Right? And sorry if any of you did this. I hope this doesn't make. I'm going to share anyway. Even when I get people that are like, "Hey Dane, I'm going to send you a Christmas card. What's your address?" I send them this address. and I open the mail and I look at it and I say, "Oh," and I text them or email them or whatever, like, "Thank you so much for the Christmas card." And I see it all the same. I hope that doesn't make me look even more shallow. But even to the point where somebody sent me a package was it last Christmas? I forget. Somebody sent me a package for Christmas, and I didn't know what it was. And I just told the mail company, I said, "Hey, just open it. Tell me what's inside." And they're like, "Oh, there's a whole bunch of cookies and muffins and stuff." And I text them back. I said, "You know what? My treat. Go ahead and give this to the staff." And then I texted the person who sent me the package, and I said, "Thank you so much for all these yummy cookies and muffins and whatever it was." Anyway, that's real Dane in real life. let's call it. I hope that doesn't make me look shallow, but it's very difficult for me to take the time to open lots, because I get lots of mail, lots and lots of mail. If you can imagine, we do, I don't know, 50, 60 deals a year. I don't know. And so that's a lot of paperwork, a lot of mail. And so but now I love it. And I'm so glad that I was able to show you that if I go to my opened mail box, there's nothing in here. And so this would be the equivalent of having nothing on my desk waiting for me to do some kind of a task. If it's a bill or if it's I've got all these houses now. And so sometimes I get like code enforcement stuff because they're like, "Hey, you got like a lawnmower in the front yard," or no, it was like a chair. I got a code enforcement from one city in Taylorsville. They sent me a picture of an office chair on the side of the road at one of my properties that I'm not even living there. Like somebody's paying me rent to live there. And they sent me this code enforcement thing. And normally that would go to my house and I'd have to take care of that. But I just leave it in my inbox on this mail app. And I email the tenant, "Hey, will you please take the office chair to the dump for whatever reason it's out there? Will you please clean that up?" The city just said, "Clean it up." You probably already know about this because they probably posted it on your door. And they sent me physical mail, not to my house, but to this app. And I took care of it. I didn't have to deal with the freaking paperwork. Anyway, I think this is an answer to my prayers. This was an answer to one of my prayers too. But that, again, that was a product of going through what do I do every day and what frustrates me versus what excites me. What do I like? And mail was one of those that I'm like, "No, I do not like mail." Opening it, dealing with it, shredding. Oh, and one of the things on the app is it says, "Do you want to recycle this? Do you want to shred this?" And so I just, as soon as I'm done with, especially if there's a task involved, like dealing with the tenant to get rid of the freaking office chair on the street, as soon as they're like, "Yep, it's gone," then I can just say shred or recycle or whatever. I typically recycle, try to hug the trees and stuff. But so simple, saves me eons and eons of time having to open and deal with paper mail. But anywho, hope that makes sense. All right, we're 9:35. John says, "I love Wednesdays." I love Wednesdays too. I appreciate you guys. I hope this
Dane,
helps.
are you doing full audio?
I am not.
Okay. I saw you
I
on.
don't want to keep that a secret.
No, it's okay.
I just felt, I don't have anything against it. In fact, I think it is absolutely brilliant. I think I might have mentioned on this call that one of the first life coaches I ever hired was Woody Woodward. I paid the $10,000 and I met with Woody one-on-one for like a year back when he was doing that. And so I can guarantee the content is top notch.
Oh yeah.
With Saladio. When I saw what it was, and that was my exact thought. It was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But I just felt that it was going to distract me from what I'm doing today in my life. And so I chose to say, you know what, I'm going to sit this one out, at least for now, because I've got some laser focused goals on things that I'm doing at the moment. And I don't want to just add to the pile. Again, like putting the blinders on. Like there's moments in your life where you say, you know what, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to put the blinders on. All these other things don't exist for at least 3 months. I typically do a 3-month sprint when I do things like this. And when I looked at Saladio, even though I'm like, this is amazing, I just felt like with what I'm working towards right now, it was going to be a distraction. That doesn't mean that will be like that forever. It's hard to say, but for right now, like I got my days, my weeks are filled with stuff that I'm working towards on my own goals. But again, I have nothing negative to say about it.
But you're still an ICM, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Who's
Yeah,
your 5-star?
Let's see. It used to be Mitch Nelson. Now it's Michael Huggins.
Oh,
So it would go Michael Huggins, Richard Stock, and then what's his name? Mike Thompson, something like that.
Yeah.
I forget the last guy's name.
thank you.
But anywho, hope that helps somebody today. Do the activity and build the system for employee yourself and CEO yourself. And then it makes it easier to hire that person, that employee, if you will, and compartmentalize it. So I love you all. Thank you, Sandra. Great Wealth Wednesday. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Love it. Thank you so much, guys. If you want a recording of this, I'm going to make sure that it gets on YouTube. I'll put those resources that he shared in the description as well. So appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Peace.
Peace. God bless.